The 1982 D Washington Quarter is one of the most fascinating coins of modern U.S. minting. At first glance, it seems like an ordinary piece of change. But for collectors who know its history, this coin represents a major shift in American coin production. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions that year, yet 1982 remains a standout because it was the first time in over a decade that the U.S. Mint did not release uncirculated coin sets for collectors. That decision made high-grade examples of this coin surprisingly scarce. For collectors, finding a perfect specimen is now a real challenge. Most 1982 D quarters were heavily circulated. They lost their shine and detail through years of use, and that's why examples graded mint state 65 or higher have gained strong demand. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel clad surface over a pure copper core, weighing 5.67 grams and measuring 24.3 millimeters in diameter. The obverse features George Washington's profile designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse shows the traditional heraldic eagle. These elements had been part of the Washington Quarter since 1932, but the 1982 issue came during a turning point for U.S. coinage design and production. The Denver Mint produced around 480 million of these quarters, but very few survived in top condition. Most were released into circulation, making them common in worn states but highly desirable in pristine ones. A flawless 1982 D quarter graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can sell for more than $1,000. A single coin in MS68 condition once brought over $1,500 at auction because of its brilliant luster and sharp strike. Collectors value these high grades not only for rarity, but also for the historical connection to a year when the Mint cut back collector releases. Another reason the 1982 D quarter attracts attention is its connection to mint errors. Some were struck slightly off-center, while others show weak strikes or die cracks caused by overuse of dies. A few rare transitional errors exist, where the planchet composition shows signs of incomplete plating or mixed metal layers. These error coins can reach prices between $200 and $800, depending on severity and clarity. One particularly well-struck double-die obverse specimen drew bids of nearly $1,200 at a specialized error auction. The condition of the coin plays the most important role in its value. Circulated examples are still worth their face value, but coins in uncirculated condition, especially those preserved from original bankrolls, have become prized finds. Collectors seek quarters with full mint luster, sharp eagle feathers on the reverse, and minimal contact marks on Washington's cheek. These details separate a common quarter from a premium-grade collectible. Even a small nick or dull finish can cut its value by hundreds of dollars. Some coin experts recommend checking pocket change carefully from old rolls and savings jars. Many 1982 D quarters stayed in storage for decades, untouched. If you find one with clear strike details, bright surfaces, and no wear, it might be worth grading. Professional grading adds credibility and helps determine its exact market worth. MS65 coins usually trade between $50 and $100, while MS66 and MS67 examples rise quickly into the hundreds. Interestingly, this coin also represents an important moment in U.S. economic history. In 1982, the country faced rising metal costs, forcing the Mint to streamline production and reduce expenses. This explains the missing uncirculated and proof sets that year. That decision unintentionally created one of the most collectible modern Washington quarters. The combination of massive circulation and limited mint state survivors gives the 1982 D a unique balance of commonness and rarity. For anyone building a Washington quarter collection, this coin is essential. It connects the earlier silver issues of the 1960s to the modern clad designs that continue today. It also challenges collectors to look for beauty in small differences, clean strikes, strong luster, and precise detail. The 1982 D quarter may not have the silver shine of older pieces, but its story and scarcity and high grade give it lasting appeal. One lesson this coin teaches is that rarity is not always about age. Sometimes it's about timing, decisions, and how people treat the coins they handle daily. Many dismissed the 1982 D as ordinary pocket change, but history proved otherwise. The next time you go through your change, check closely. That small quarter could hold a hidden story and value that most people overlook. Collectors continue to track auction results for this coin because prices keep rising for high-grade examples. Some predict further increases as uncirculated rolls become harder to find. If you have one stored away, keep it safe. It might represent more than just 25 cents. It could be part of numismatic history that connects everyday life with America's changing economy. The 1968 Washington quarter marked a turning point in U.S. coinage history. It was one of the first quarters produced after the removal of silver from circulation coins, following the change that began in 1965. Struck at the Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco mints, the 1968 issue was fully copper-nickel clad, featuring an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. For many collectors, this coin represents the start of the true modern era of U.S. quarters, where silver was replaced by cost-effective metals due to the high value of silver in the 1960s. The 1968 Washington quarter still carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a design that dates back to 1932. The obverse shows Washington's profile facing left, with the word Liberty above, and the national motto, "In God We Trust," to the left. The date sits below the bust, clean and simple. The reverse retains the heraldic eagle with spread wings, arrows, and olive branches. What sets this year apart is not its design, but its role in the transition to a new coinage era, and the reintroduction of mint marks on coins after a 3-year absence. In 1965, the mint removed mint marks to discourage hoarding and speculation during the nationwide coin shortage. By 1968, they were restored, which means you will find the D mint mark below the wreath on Denver issues and S on proof coins from San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint, however, continued without a mark. This small change is a key identification point for collectors and adds significance to this year's production. The 1968 D Washington quarter had a mintage of about 101 million coins, while the Philadelphia issue reached around 220 million. The San Francisco mint struck 3 million proof coins for collectors, each with mirror-like finishes and sharp details. Most circulated examples today are worth face value, but coins in top condition or with errors command much higher prices. An MS-67 graded 1968 D quarter can reach $400 to $600, while a flawless MS-68 example once sold for over $2,000 due to its near-perfect surfaces and brilliant shine. Proof versions graded PR-69 Deep Cameo regularly trade for $80 to $150. Collectors often search for special errors among 1968 quarters. Double die obverses, die cracks, and off-center strikes are known to exist. Some of these rare varieties can bring strong prices, especially if the doubling is visible on Liberty or Washington's eye. Off-center strikes showing a visible rim gap can fetch anywhere from $100 to $500, depending on the severity and completeness of the date. This coin also stands out because 1968 marked the first year that all proof coins were minted exclusively at the San Francisco Mint. The transition from Philadelphia to San Francisco proof production created a new standard in quality, making 1968 S-proof quarters among the first of the modern proof era. These proof coins display a high level of detail, deep mirror backgrounds, and frosted designs that distinguish them from ordinary circulation strikes. Another key factor affecting value is strike quality. Many 1968 D quarters have weak strikes on the eagle's breast feathers or light rim details. Collectors pay premiums for coins with full details and clean surfaces. Finding one with full feather lines and no bag marks is rare, especially since most coins from this year were released for everyday use and stored poorly. Mint state examples often carry light abrasions from mint handling, which lowers their grade and price potential. The year 1968 also reflects the growing importance of the mint's modernization efforts. As America's population and economy expanded, coin production needed to meet massive demand. The Denver and Philadelphia facilities worked continuously, striking millions of quarters per day. That volume ensured wide availability, but limited the number of perfectly struck coins. As a result, collectors today view high-grade examples as true survivors of mass production. In recent years, collector interest in late 1960s clad quarters has grown. Many people once ignored these coins, believing only silver quarters were worth collecting. But registry sets and modern grading services have changed that. The rarity of top-grade examples and their historical connection to the post-silver era have elevated their standing. Even casual collectors now recognize 1968 quarters as essential pieces for completing a full Washington quarter timeline. At auction, prices for exceptional coins continue to rise. One remarkable 1968 D quarter graded MS-68 by PCGS sold for over $3,000 in a specialized auction because of its flawless luster, strong strike, and beautiful toning. While such prices are rare, they show the potential locked inside ordinary-looking coins. Every collector knows that a single, perfect coin can stand apart from millions of others, and the 1968 Washington Quarter proves it. The 1995 D Washington Quarter stands as a strong example of how modern U.S. coinage balances tradition with everyday practicality. Struck at the Denver Mint, this coin carries the legacy of the Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Even though this coin is not made of silver like its early predecessors, its place in the series is just as significant. The 1995 D quarter reflects the later era of copper-nickel-clad coinage, produced for circulation during a time of economic stability in the United States. The obverse of the 1995 D Washington Quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. It shows the first president facing left, with liberty above, "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date 1995 positioned below the bust. The Denver Mint's D mint mark sits clearly to the right of the ribbon in Washington's hair, a key detail for identifying its origin. The reverse remains classic, with the heraldic eagle holding a bundle of arrows, wings spread wide, and a pair of olive branches below. Above the eagle, United States of America arches boldly, with E pluribus unum centered below it, and quarter dollar at the bottom. This coin is part of the long-running clad quarter issues that replaced the silver composition after 1964. The 1995 D quarter was struck with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The total weight is 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a reeded edge. The Denver Mint struck an impressive mintage of around 1.13 billion pieces, ensuring it was widely circulated across the nation. Because of this huge production, most examples today are common in circulated condition. Yet finding one in perfect mint state is far from easy. Collectors look for clean surfaces, strong luster, and a full strike on both sides. The 1995 D quarter, despite being modern, can become valuable when preserved in pristine condition. Average circulated examples hold face value, but mint state coins tell a different story. Coins graded MS-66 can fetch $30 to $50. MS-67 pieces can bring $150 to $300. And a rare MS-68 example once reached a record price of $1,900 at auction. These high-grade pieces are challenging to find due to bag marks, weak strikes, and dull surfaces from bulk mint handling. The 1995 D quarter also appeals to collectors for its role as one of the final years before the major redesign that came with the 50-state quarters program in 1999. It represents the last stretch of the traditional Washington Eagle reverse before the mint shifted to celebrating statehood designs. This connection gives the 1995 issue special historical importance, serving as a bridge between two major eras of American numismatics. Proof and special mint sets were not produced at Denver, but collectors can find brilliant examples from uncirculated mint sets. These sets often contain the best-preserved strikes with superior luster and detail. A fully struck 1995 D with sharp feather lines on the eagle and clean cheek on Washington's portrait can easily rise in value when graded by PCGS or NGC. Varieties and errors from this year add extra interest. Off-center strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets are known among 1995 D quarters. Some double-die obverse examples have been reported, though they remain scarce and command significant premiums when certified. Depending on the visibility of the error, these coins can range from $100 to several $100s. Collectors often underestimate the difficulty of locating modern-clad quarters in high grade. The soft nickel-copper surface is prone to scuffs and dulling, even before leaving the mint. Storage and handling play a major role in preservation. That is why registry set collectors actively hunt for the few flawless 1995 D coins, as they are essential to completing top-ranking Washington quarter sets. In recent auctions, interest in top-tier modern quarters has grown sharply. As older silver coins become more expensive, collectors are turning their attention to high-grade clad issues from the 1970s through the 1990s. A remarkable 1995 D quarter, graded MS 68 by PCGS, showing bright luster and perfect strike, sold for over $2,000, proving that even modern coins can achieve strong market attention when preserved perfectly. The 1995 D Washington quarter captures the balance between tradition and modern minting efficiency. It may not be made of silver, but it carries the same historical weight and patriotic symbolism that began in 1932. Every detail, from the bold portrait of Washington to the sharp eagle design, represents decades of American coinage heritage. For collectors and casual enthusiasts alike, it serves as a reminder that even the most common-looking coins can hide value and history when studied closely. The 1905 Indian Head 1 cent is a remarkable coin that captures the essence of America's early 20th century identity. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, this coin stands among the final issues of the Indian Head series before its replacement by the Lincoln cent in 1909. It symbolizes a period of transformation in U.S. coinage, craftsmanship, and culture. Made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, this coin represents a classic era when design and symbolism carried deep national meaning. The Indian Head cent was created by James Barton Longacre, chief engraver of the U.S. Mint from 1844 to 1869. His design replaced the Flying Eagle cent in 1859 and became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. The obverse features the Liberty figure wearing a Native American feather headdress, often mistaken for an actual depiction of an indigenous person. The word Liberty is inscribed on the band of the headdress, with United States of America circling the portrait and the date 1905 centered at the bottom. This powerful design combined classical and native symbolism, reflecting the nation's spirit of independence and unity. The reverse design shows a simple yet elegant laurel wreath surrounding the words 1 cent. Earlier issues displayed a wreath of oak and a shield, but by 1905 the laurel wreath had become the standard. Each leaf is deeply engraved, and the small shield at the top represents strength and national pride. These design elements give the coin its timeless appeal, drawing collectors for more than a century. A total of about 80.7 million Indian Head cents were minted in 1905, a high number that makes this issue common in lower grades, but surprisingly scarce in well-preserved condition. Most circulated heavily in commerce during the early 1900s, which explains why high-grade survivors are limited today. Finding one with sharp feather details, full Liberty inscription, and smooth surfaces is a challenge. Collectors prize mint-state examples with original red or red-brown color, as copper tones fade over time. Condition is everything with this coin. In good condition, a 1905 Indian Head cent might bring $2 to $4, while fine examples reach $10. Extremely fine pieces can sell for $25 to $40, and mint-state examples start around $100. The real value appears at the top of the scale. A perfectly preserved MS-66 red specimen, graded by PCGS, once sold for over $7,200 at auction. These coins exhibit blazing color, minimal spotting, and crisp details, qualities that define the best examples known today. The coin's copper composition means it reacts over time with its environment, creating natural toning. Some collectors seek coins with rich red-orange luster, while others prefer chocolate-brown patina. Coins that retain their original mint red color are the most desirable and command the highest premiums. Only a small fraction of the original mintage remains in such pristine condition. The 1905 Indian head cent also has interesting die varieties and minor errors. Some examples show die cracks, repunched dates, or slight doubling on the lettering. While not dramatic, these details attract specialists who collect by variety. A sharp repunched date can increase a coin's value several times over, depending on clarity and grade. In the broader context of history, 1905 was a dynamic year for the United States. Theodore Roosevelt served as president, and America was asserting itself as a growing world power. The country's economy thrived, cities expanded, and industrial progress defined the era. The Indian head cent circulated in shops, train stations, and markets during this period of national growth, connecting millions of people to daily commerce. By the time this coin was struck, the Indian head series was nearing its end. Within 4 years, the Lincoln cent would debut, replacing Longacre's design. Yet, the 1905 issue remains a vital link between the nation's early artistic coinage and the modern era that followed. It holds a unique charm for collectors because it represents the maturity of the series, when the design and minting techniques had reached their highest quality. At auction, top-graded examples continue to perform strongly. The record for a 1905 Indian head cent in MS-67 red is an impressive $14,950, a reflection of both rarity and visual appeal. The combination of perfect strike, full original luster, and clean surfaces drives prices into the thousands. These coins are extremely hard to locate, and collectors compete aggressively when they appear on the market. Every 1905 Indian head cent carries more than just its face value. It is a piece of American artistry and craftsmanship from a time when each coin told a story of progress and pride. Its design honors liberty, its color glows with age, and its survival connects collectors to a century of history. The 1953 D. Lincoln wheat penny is one of the post-war issues that still captures collector interest today. It was minted at the Denver Mint, with a total mintage of more than 700 million coins, making it quite common in circulation. However, not all 1953 D pennies are equal in value. Small differences in strike quality, die errors, or condition can make a major difference in how much one is worth. The obverse of the coin features President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse displays the classic wheat ears design that gives this coin series its nickname, Wheat Penny. This reverse design ran from 1909 to 1958 before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. The 1953 D penny represents the later years of the wheat series, and coins from this period often appear in bright red or red-brown tones when preserved properly. In circulated grades, a 1953 D penny is worth only a few cents over face value, typically between 5 and 15 cents. In uncirculated mint state grades, values rise quickly. A bright red example graded MS-65 can sell for around $10 to $15. Higher-end pieces, graded MS-67RD, have sold for over $400 at auction. Color plays a big role in pricing. Coins with the red-brown or brown color designations usually sell for much less than fully red coins. Collectors often seek 1953 D pennies with strong strikes, clean surfaces, and full original luster. Coins struck from fresh dies can show crisp details in Lincoln's hair and beard, as well as in the wheat stalks on the reverse. The Denver Mint was known for producing some sharply struck coins during the early 1950s, but weakly struck examples are also common. Some rare die varieties and mint errors from 1953 D are also valuable. These include repunched mint marks, die cracks, off-center strikes, and double dies. A clear repunched D can sell for $20 to $50 depending on condition. A dramatic double die obverse or reverse could fetch $100 or more. Off-center strikes with visible design details can range from $50 to $150. One of the biggest value factors is condition. Uncirculated rolls and original mint sets can still contain gems that are worth grading. A collector who finds a 1953 D penny in original red mint luster with no spots or marks should consider professional grading. High-grade coins certified by PCGS or NGC can bring premium prices on the collector market. While the 1953 D penny is not rare in general circulation, finding one in perfect mint state condition is becoming harder each year. Many coins were used for decades, losing their shine and detail. Well-preserved rolls are now collector items themselves. The metal composition also connects this coin to American history. Like all wheat pennies after World War II, the 1953 D was made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This gives it a classic reddish tone that deepens with age. During this time, copper was plentiful again after wartime shortages, and the mint returned to its standard bronze alloy. In recent years, prices for high-grade wheat cents have climbed as new collectors enter the hobby and compete for top examples. A perfect red 1953 D penny graded MS67RD is one of the hardest coins of the 1950s to locate in flawless condition. Such coins have been known to bring auction prices above $500. If you want to search for one, focus on older coin collections, inherited coin jars, and original bankrolls from the 1950s. Even circulated examples can tell a story about post-war America and the return to stability after years of rationing and recovery. The 1953 D Lincoln wheat penny stands as a bridge between early and modern coinage. It represents a time when quality copper coins were still common in everyday life. For collectors, it offers a low-cost entry into the world of Lincoln cents with opportunities for big finds if you pay attention to condition and variety. In short, a circulated 1953 D penny is worth cents, but a top-graded red gem can reach hundreds of dollars. That huge gap makes this coin both accessible and exciting. Whether you find one in a coin roll or buy one certified, it's a reminder that even ordinary coins can hold real historical and financial value.